Buzzing about President Biden's improvised line in Warsaw over the weekend, that Russia's Vladimir Putin, quote, cannot remain in power. This was an unscripted remark during his high-stakes address. It came as President Biden warned the U.S. of Russia's more immediate impact on American life, which includes the threat of cyber attacks. A White House columnist for The Hill, Niall Stanage, joining me now with more on exactly what the administration is doing to actually backpedal on that unscripted comment. Some are calling this a major gaffe. Niall, what are you hearing?
It is a sizable mistake, Adrienne. I mean, it's important to realize that on these kinds of trips, so much attention is paid to every word, every comma, and for President Biden to go off script in this way is pretty unforgivable, just in a matter of politics. The White House, you're quite right, has tried to walk this back, tried to pretend, frankly, that he didn't say what he did say. And I think that points to the fear that this is a kind of mistake that gives a gift, really, to Vladimir Putin, who can now go to the Russian people and say, you see, this is what it's really about. It's not really about these high-minded ideas in Ukraine. It's about trying to get rid of me.
And in terms of the Kremlin responding and saying, listen, your president is not going to make the decision as to who's in power in Russia. Obviously, the tensions between the American government and Russia's government could only be escalated by something like this. But is President Biden shooting himself in the foot, so to speak? This isn't the first time he said something unscripted that the administration has later actually walked back or retracted.
That's right. And that, of course, goes back long before he was even president, Adrienne. I mean, there were comments that he made about then Senator Barack Obama in the 2008 presidential race that were very badly thought out. So this is a capacity or a tendency that Biden has. It's one that everyone knows. The problem, I think, here is when you're in such a delicate situation diplomatically, it's a problem. I know people will say, well, Putin shouldn't be in power. But the reality, whether we like it or not, is this war is going to end with negotiations of some kind. Vladimir Putin is almost certainly going to be a central figure in those negotiations. So you just have to be more careful and mindful of what you say.
Yeah, but once you say it, that's what I've learned. Unless you say, oh, I didn't mean it that way, immediately upon saying it, it's already a domino that's creating an effect. Major companies have been warned to step up security in light of the threat of cyber attacks from Russia. Google this weekend issuing this emergency security update for Chrome users. What exactly is this going to do that shouldn't have already been in place before?
Well, the Google Chrome issue is still a bit mysterious for a fairly simple reason. Google don't want to say exactly what the vulnerability is for fear that other people can exploit it who have not already done so. That said, it is a worrying trend or a worrying development. To be useful about it, I mean, people should, if they use Chrome, go and update it as soon as they can, where there's this new update to patch the vulnerability. But obviously, this is part of a broader picture where we're expecting things like Russian cyber attacks on American infrastructure as well as on specific people's accounts or computers.
Yeah, it is so interesting to me that this warning is going out, this clarion call, step up your security, as if Russia hasn't already been an issue in terms of cyber attacks. Niall, thank you so much, as always. Still ahead, Ukrainian President Vladimir. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to click on the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.